And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Supreme Court said you had to desegregate, and you had to do it now.
And this was not going to happen.
The judge sort of was living and breathing judicial independence.
Once he was appointed, he was able to bring that independent temperament.
Even though the judge had life tenure doesn't protect you from somebody firebombing your guest cottage.
Okay, you're there.
There's Robert.
There we go. Yeah, I'm back.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. Greetings from Las Vegas.
Hi. Yeah, I'm glad Al caught me. I was down on the shore.
Oh, well, I finished your documentary last night. Fascinating, definitely an unsung hero of the legal system. Let's start with Robert. Tell us what made Judge Merhige so influential.
Well, I'm going to throw that back to Al because it was
Okay.
Al's original idea, and I think he articulates it pretty well. So
Al's the go-to man then, Al.
Okay, well, he what made him so kind of memorable was he wasn't afraid of high-profile situations. He, at some point in his career, was known as the nation's go-to judge because he would hear trials that no one else would hear. And this is in part because he had been a trial attorney himself. He was a criminal defense attorney, which is kind of unusual that he got to be a judge. And that's kind of an interesting story in itself. But he had also been a World War II veteran. He'd been a member of a B-17 bomber crew that flew like numerous combat missions over Germany and Austria. And one of the lines he used during the busing desegregation cases when his life was being threatened was that Hitler couldn't kill me, so I'm not worried about getting killed now. So he was very loyal to the law. He loved the law. He loved the Constitution. He thought that the courts were the great leveler. And he also liked the action because he had been a trial attorney. He liked being in the courtroom. He liked lawyers. He liked people. He was great with juries. He just was a people person, but he also liked the action and he liked the process of the law. And one of his theories was that this is where people are going to interact with their government in a way that they usually don't get a chance to. This is where the government's in action.
Well, and Robert, tell me about how you and Al's paths crossed for this documentary. Obviously, Al was the force behind it, but what attracted you to this project, and what were the challenges in collecting the interviews and the vintage photographs? I mean, it looked like an epic challenge.
it was rather large for sure. Well, Al was looking around. I think he was inquiring to try to partner with a filmmaker, and my name came up. Al contacted me, told me what his idea was, and I was familiar with the judge because I started my career working in television and film departments for news and documentaries. So I was around a lot of the time when the judge was having these iconic cases come before his bench. So I immediately thought it was a film that could be funded. And so we started the process, spent about the better part of the first year setting up a nonprofit and raising funds to do the film. So pretty much that's how it got. That's a short story of how it got started for me.
And now, what do you think that Judge Merhige, what would you think he would say his greatest accomplishment was? I know he's got a laundry list of amazing, groundbreaking accomplishments, but what do you think he was the most proud of?
Probably his family.
Well, he was most proud of the one case, the big case that got overturned, because what he was trying to do was, because of white flight, people had left the city of Richmond because they didn't want to go to integrated schools. And so the judge was ordered to integrate the schools in Richmond, Virginia, but he's looking at a school system that's 90 to 95% African American. And so it's like, well, how do I integrate the schools? So I can't just like bust the kids around the school, around the city. It's not going to do anything. So what he decided to do was to order the counties where the people had gone to flee integration to bus their children into the city and bus the city children out to the suburbs. And his theory was that if people can spend time together, they will start to understand that people are just people, and that the racial differences were superficial, and to move away from the concept of the other, and start to truly integrate not only the school system, but that would be the beginning of integrating the country. And so he thought that was his landmark decision in many ways. And unfortunately, because of the way the court system functions, it was overturned, because when it got to the Supreme Court, it was a 4-4 tie, which reverted back to the the appeals court decision, which was to overturn the case. I think what he loved the most was just the law, and the fact that like I said, that the courts are the leveler, and that this is where the Constitution meets the public. This is where the rubber hits the road. And
he was dedicated, definitely. You could get that from the documentary. And Robert, was there any particular interview you went after that you couldn't get, or was everyone pretty much agreeable to come on camera?
Most people were definitely on board, and I think that that process of when you first start, the next person that you call on, most of the time they want to know, well, who else is in the film? So it kind of builds on itself. And we had, obviously, we were fortunate, we got some very credible people to sit down in front of the camera. And I think having sitting judges to participate, that always kind of surprised me, how they said, yeah, and they were quite open, and they told good stories of the judge. So yeah, it just kept building on itself as we went along.
Well, Al, Robert, filmmakers like you and producers like you keep the dedication alive, and his incredible legacy. And I appreciate you both talking to me today. And I feel this is going to be a documentary shown in many law schools over the decades.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. And when you have a chance, come visit us in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you.
Okay.
Love to come out there. I've never done it.
Oh, well, love to have you. Come on out. I'll give you a personal tour. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.